Hey, so I'm gonna make hot sauce again for the third time with the last harvest of Sugar Rush peach peppers out of my garden. And I need to adjust the recipe. So I'm gonna kind of think it through out loud with you. This video is really for me so that when I make hot sauce next year, I can help make my recipe even better and kind of fine tune it. So this is really for future Tiffany, but I probably will post this. So I'm also going to make the video in a format I can post just because. So help me struggle along a little bit, and I'd welcome any advice if you have any. Thanks.
Okay, video for myself. We're gonna make hot sauce again, Tiff. We're gonna do it for the third time. We're gonna take what we learned from the first and second times, and we're gonna make a really good batch of third hot sauce. Okay, adding to this 1 small onion, white onion. That's 7 ounces of white onion. Then we have approximately, these are peaches that I put through the processor, and that is 18 ounces of peaches to that. It's approximately 2 cups. 1 tablespoon of lime juice. This is fresh. 4 tablespoons of sugar. A half teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna add a tiny bit more. And we'll add the garlic, the roasted garlic, and it'll be done in just a little bit. So we'll add that as soon as it gets out of the oven. I'm gonna chop up the peppers, the Sugar Rush peach peppers, and I'm just gonna like cut the head off, and then cut them right down the middle and put them in the food processor. Look at that big guy. And I'll add the 20 Sugar Rush peach peppers to the bowl. And that's 3.9 ounces, so 4 ounces of Sugar Rush hot peppers. Okay, oh, let me turn this off, because you can't hear me. Okay, hold on. Okay, so, oh gosh, Tiffany. Okay, so let me explain this hot sauce to myself. Okay, this was the first batch of hot sauce. See how pretty pink it is? I think one of the reasons why the second batch is so different is because, one, I used my homemade onion powder in this on accident, and it's very green, and it definitely immediately changed the color. But also, the difference between these two is I used the seeds and the veins in this one, and even though I used the food processor to chop up the vegetables during prep before I cook them, after I cooked them, before I strained both of them, I blended the final product before I strained it in this product. So this had a final blend, like a puree, before I strained it. And so it allowed, you know, more of the veg and the fruit to get in the final product. And I'll show you in a second, but it's a lot thicker. This is obviously very thin. I did not blend it after I cooked it, and I just strained it through the strainer. And I mean, it's a lot more vinegary, but I have some eggs that I just hard boiled, and this is like so pink and pretty and so fruity, but the heat, you need a lot of sauce on one bite in order to get like the full flavor payoff. And also the heat goes away like instantly. You taste the flavor of the peppers, but it goes away. There's no residual heat. So but it's sweet. It's a little sweet, and of course vinegary, and a little fruity. But you cannot like say, oh, that's peach. It doesn't taste like peach, even though there's peaches in it. It just complements the fruitiness in the notes of the Sugar Rush peach peppers. Anyways, let me show you this other one. So it's like, you saw the viscosity, I'm sure. And you don't need like a lot of this. Like I have like 2 shakes on here, and it's gonna be plenty of heat, not too much, which I like. It's not too hot. It's not as vinegar forward. It's not as sweet, but the heat is there. So anyways, that's my assessment. Now let's make a product that is slightly thicker than this, not as thick as this, has some sweet hints to it like this, but has the heat of this. And I would love it if it had more of this color in the end than a yellowy color. So we'll see. I went back to the store to get peaches, and they only had yellow peaches this time. So that also may affect the product in the end. We'll see. Let's try. A whole small head of garlic and with the hot sauce, and add everything in here. I'm gonna add the vinegar. So I'm gonna reserve that third. So 2 cups of white vinegar. I'm gonna cook this down and add that later if I need it. I also have the leftovers from my first and second batch. I have the puree that I strained out. I saved it. I don't really know why, but I thought maybe I might dehydrate it and make like a seasoning powder with it, because I have this whole bowl and half of this. So, and then I'll have whatever's left after this. After I cook this batch, this third batch of hot sauce, I'm gonna taste it first before I take it off the stove. And if it's not hot enough, I'm gonna add some of that puree in there to make it a little hotter. So just in case it's not hot enough, and if I do that, then I'll add some of that extra vinegar that I had. So, but I'll show you if I do. I'm just explaining my thought process, which is absolutely crazy. So I'm gonna add an extra tablespoon of sugar because I'm reviewing my notes and I want it to be like the second one, but sweeter and thinner, basically, and pinker if possible. So with those goals in mind, I'm gonna add an extra tablespoon of sugar. I'm adding the skins of like 1.5 peaches to this, or 2 peaches, to help with the final color. It's going to be blended anyway, so you're not going to see pieces of the peel. I'm turning up the heat a little bit. We want to bring it to a steady simmer and then put it back down to a low simmer for 20 minutes. I added like 1/4 cup of the puree from one of my previous batches. So I've added that now. This is the light simmer I was talking about. I'm gonna set the timer for 20 minutes. Okay. See that? Just a handful of bubbles on top. It's my big burner, but it's on medium-low. Let me show you what it looks like, because the timer just went off. Okay, I'm gonna take this off the heat and blend it. Okay, I'm just gonna blend this. It's cooled down a little bit, so it's not absolutely boiling anymore. This one go extra long because it had a lot of the peel, like the big peel pieces in it. Just gonna add it to my bowl, and then I might be doing this like not that great, but I mean, might be able to do this easier than the way I've done it. I don't know. Probably think about it and cut down these steps a little bit. I really thought about it, but I guess I'm not really in a hurry. Okay, so now we're gonna strain this. A couple ladles at a time. Take my spatula and help it pass through. I strained it. And this is what it's looking like. It's obviously, well, it's not hot, but it's like almost at room temp. And so it's gonna be a little extra liquidy, I think. Meaning it's gonna thicken up when I put it in the fridge. You can't really tell, but it is pinker than my second hot sauce. So that's good. I don't think it's thin enough. I have a 1/2 cup of vinegar, and I'm gonna add half of that. Okay. And I'm gonna stir that in to thin it down just a little bit. Okay, so it wasn't like quite hot enough. It like the sweetness is there. Maybe I should have not put in that last tablespoon of sugar. I'm not sure. I decided that I'm just gonna put it in a deli and put it in the fridge overnight and try it again in the morning. Maybe the flavors will develop a little bit more, and then I'll see the final like thickness of the hot sauce too after it's been chilled thoroughly. So we'll try it in the morning, and if not, we could always
put it back on the stove and like add like a quarter of a habanero maybe. Or I read that it suggested to put it back on the cooktop and like add a little cayenne or add a little chili flakes to like increase the heat. But I'm gonna have to think on that. Hopefully it'll taste like I want it to after it's sat in the fridge all night. So I'll try it again in the morning. So I went to a doctor's appointment today and I came back and I was hungry and I think my blood sugar was low or something. I don't know, but I had to eat and like I just like ravenously grabbed a couple hard-boiled eggs and the hot sauce and I tried the hot sauce without recording it. I'm sorry. But I also completely forgot because I tried it and I immediately was like, it's sweet. It's too sweet, like not hot at all. Like it did not intensify the heat at all by sitting in the fridge overnight. Like, so I threw it on the stove and I added a half tablespoon of cayenne pepper, like as a, it was just a reaction. I just wanted to be done with it all of a sudden. After taking so much time to like over obsess about hot sauce for forever, so that I did this last batch perfect, and then I just like did that. But it's back in the fridge and it's gonna sit for a little bit. Like I want to know that I didn't like put too much heat in it, because I didn't even really think. I just chose a half a teaspoon out of thin air. So hopefully I didn't overdo it. Anyways, next time I try it, when I try it in the morning, I will record it. I will record it. I promise. Okay. Let's try it. Let me crack this egg really quick. I need to rinse it off. Okay, I'm gonna add a tiny bit of Maldon salt on my egg. Okay, a little hot sauce. Okay, so by adding the cayenne pepper, it increased the heat. Like it's still, obviously you can taste a little bit of the sweet, but it's not as like sweet forward. By adding the cayenne, it definitely increased the heat, but just by a little bit. But enough for me. So I'm happy with this. I think I saved it. I have this much to bottle today, so I'm gonna finish doing that. And I have this video to look back at next year when I'm getting ready to make hot sauce again with my harvest, and I can kind of start where I left off this year and
hopefully work on my recipe and make it even better. So we'll see. This is really good though. You definitely need to grow Sugar Rush peach peppers because they're really great peppers. I'm so happy with them, so happy. I only planted 2 plants this year, but it gave me plenty of peppers, probably 100 peppers. And I couldn't be happier that I grew them.